Shares of Amazon trading at near record highs, and they're set to report quarterly results on Thursday after the closing bell. Well, joining us to preview those numbers is Tuna Amobi of S&P Capital IQ. Tuna, what are you looking for from Amazon when they report results tomorrow?
Well, I think we're looking for revenue growth to come up towards the higher end of the guidance they provided, 7 to 18%. We think it could be another good quarter, quote unquote. As you know, Amazon has been very inconsistent in terms of its earnings and volatility associated with its results. But having put together several consecutive quarters of earnings that outperformed Wall Street, we think that this quarter could surprise on the upside. And then also Amazon Web Services, another area that we think could be the main catalyst.
So what will be the three things to watch in the report tomorrow?
Well, number one is, I think, in terms of Amazon Web Services, which they started to break out just last quarter. That division has been growing rapidly. Investors are very, very focused on the potential upside from that. Number two, I think Prime membership, and while they don't disclose their Prime membership, we think that Prime has really been a major catalyst. In the last few weeks, we've seen several initiatives accelerate on the Prime front, whether it's kind of the Prime Day for the first time. We saw that last week. That should be a major driver. And then also Prime content on the video side. That's another area. And then lastly, I think the spending on fulfillment and hardware, other services, that's an area that could be a potential swing factor in terms of the overall bottom line. I should also add that foreign exchange headwinds will play a major negative impact in the overall results consistent with management's guidance.
You mentioned Prime Day. The jury, I guess, still out, but what are your thoughts? Was it a success for the company?
Well, based on early, read, I think I would say it's a very creative endeavor. It's still too early to read, but I think I have to say it's very clever to have another vehicle that could potentially be a source of, growth for that Prime membership. So I think looking forward, I would expect, the company to try to maybe expand that or somehow replicate that more often. We've already seen, retaliation from, brick and mortar retailers like Walmart and Target are trying to counter that, and that's not unexpected. But all told, I think kind of intensifies the battle between online and traditional retail.
You mentioned the foreign exchange issues that could potentially arise in the report. How big of an issue could that be for the company? Well,
it will be very significant, and precisely the company itself has guided up to 750 basis points of negative impact on revenue growth, which they said will come in at 7 to 18%. So if you factor in foreign exchange, if you exclude foreign exchange, potentially you're talking about strong, solid double-digit, potentially in the 20% range. So that will be a major factor for Q2 as we saw for Q1, but that's not unexpected. The positive side is that a lot of their expenses also denominated in foreign exchange. So net, I think the bottom line impact will be relatively muted compared to the top line impact of Forex.
Tuna Amobi there from S&P Capital IQ with a preview of Amazon's results due Thursday after the closing bell. Thanks, Tuna.
Thank you.
In New York, I'm Ruben Ramirez, and you're watching The Street.